We will start it here on my right. Jared Smalley.
Hi, Justin. Just about the second quarter there. Tell us about the rhythm that you all discovered, and it just seemed unique. Was that maybe the best stretch you all have had as an offense this year?
I think it was a pretty good stretch. I don't know about the best stretch we've had, but it was a good stretch, and I think we did a great job in the second quarter executing and doing our job, so it's good.
Also in the front row here, Clay.
Anything said after the first quarter? Just the fact that they led for a short time, you got the touchdown to go ahead, but anything expressed from coach or player?
No, not really. I mean, coach always tells us that we're eventually going to get punched in the face, so it's just about how we respond. So I think we responded in a great way, and we just have to keep building on.
Front row, Tim.
Yeah, Justin, was the strip sack a punch in the face? I mean, they're early, and just how did you personally rebound from that? What did you tell yourself?
I wasn't worried about it at all. I have faith in the team, so I mean, when that happens, you really can't do anything about it. You just got to move on to the next play. So I wasn't worried about it personally, and the offense didn't seem worried about it either. So we were good.
Also in the front row, Austin.
Justin, you guys are about to really dive into that meat of the schedule now and go on the road to Nebraska. How do you feel coming in out of this one, that performance? How ready are you guys to head into the big games?
I think we've prepared for the winter, summer, and I think this team is mentally and physically prepared. So we're going to get in the film room tomorrow, see what we can get better at, and just get ready for Nebraska.
We'll go on the left. Kyle. Anybody else?
What do you think the best throw was
Sheesh. Probably the one to Ben, maybe. I like that one, so, yeah.
It seems like that showed kind of what you do well. You throw that great deep ball, and then Victor can make some athletic plays.
Mm-hmm.
Does that ring true to you?
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of deep threats on the team, so just seeing that executed in the game, it was great to see.
Is Ben doing that in practice too, though? I mean, is he making plays
Yeah.
like that all day now? I mean,
Yeah.
What's the difference in him?
I mean, he's an all-around receiver. He's physical, even though he's not that big. He probably needs to gain a little bit of weight, but he's physical. He's a great route runner. Yeah, he has great hands, and he's just explosive. So he's a great receiver to have.
The back, Spencer.
Justin, you've kind of not really run the ball as much as people thought you might have to begin the season. Now that you guys get into this Big Ten slate, do you think that might increase a little more as you guys kind of open the offense up even more than you guys already have?
I mean, it really just depends how the game goes. So whatever Coach Game plans up and whatever he draws up, then I'm willing to do for the team. So it's really whatever we have to do to win.
Front row, Tom.
We saw touchdowns from Garrett Wilson and Jamison Williams today. What have you seen from those guys in practice, and how good can they be when they?
I mean, yeah, Garrett, that was a good catch, but he's definitely had better catches in practice, so that wasn't surprising to see. And Jamison on that slant, when he kind of stopped and started running, I already knew right away he was going to score because he's definitely one of the fastest guys on the team. So his explosiveness, he's going to be a great receiver in the future.
Front row, Bill.
Yeah, you may have been asked this before, but you guys got off to a little bit of a slow start. What was the feeling midway through the first quarter?
You said what?
What was the feeling? What did you guys do to kind of get jump-started in the middle of the first quarter?
I mean, we didn't really change anything up. We knew we started out slow, and we just had to do something about it. So just the way we reacted, I think that was kind of the first time we kind of hit a little bit of adversity this year. So just seeing that bounce back, that was great.
Got time for just a couple more. Anyone else? Joey?
I think it's a great thing I can do and turn off. But I think it opens up the offense a lot. JK and I, just the defense doesn't know where to go, and plus our receivers down there, they're great red zone receivers. So that does open up the offense a good bit.
We got time for one more. What else? Good.
What is your role as the second and third stringers come in? How do you embrace that role, helping to lead the others?
I mean, I think those guys do a great job in the film room, so I don't really have to coach those guys up at all. But it's really just kind of getting the whole offense, the whole second, third string offense, kind of just energized and just kind of ready to go. I mean, because it's late in the game, the game's pretty much over. But just kind of getting those guys in and just getting reps and just working on their craft. So that's what I try to do.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Just want to start off again by thanking the fans. First off, another great crowd. Felt them early in the game. It was great running out of the tunnel, seeing a packed house again. And then to see the student section and a lot of the people still there at the end was really neat for our guys. It was kind of a long game there with the rain and everything, and to see the student body still there on both sides was awesome for our guys. So that was really great. Just want to thank everybody for that. First 5-6 minutes of the game, not great. So a lot of things to clean up off of film there. Hit us on some things, and then also we give up the safety. But then from then on, I thought it was pretty dominant overall, and just in terms of defense, I think it was maybe 10 straight drives where we stopped them, 3 and out or close to that. And then on offense, we got in a pretty good rhythm. But anytime you can create turnovers like we did, I think we had 2 sack fumbles by Chase. We had the block punt and the interception by Jeff. And you're playing with a short field that makes all the difference in the world. And we were opportunistic in those situations. I thought going into the game, we had opportunities to get turnovers in other games that we weren't quite there. We got them today, so that was good. But if we're going to go into Lincoln, a lot of things to clean up if we're going to go beat those guys next week. So already onto those guys and focused on preparing for them next week.
We'll open up questions over to the right. Jared.
Ryan, the second quarter, you mentioned the rhythm that you all found. That was a historically different quarter here. What was the rhythm that you found? What do you think you got going?
Well, I think anytime your defense can do what they did, which is shut them down, create turnovers like that, and then flip a short field. They were blitzing, and so they were leaving a little bit of room out there, throwing the ball down the field, and I think we hit some of those, which kind of opened up the game. And then again, we get another sack fumble, we turn the ball, we get the turnover in short field, and then we're able to turn into points. And anytime you can kind of do that, especially with the tempo, they were actually playing a little bit of an up tempo early, and we were playing really fast early. And so anytime that happens, and you can kind of turn the momentum, it can flip fast, and I think that's what happened.
Over to the left, Dylan.
Was there anything you saw from your team leading up to kickoff that you thought they might be a little bit flat? And did you prepare for the option this week?
Yeah, for sure. And that's actually not an option play. It's another type of play that we'll have to work on. They hit us, I think, 3 different times on that. But no, I thought we had a really good week of practice. I thought coaches did a great job of preparing them. And I'm really proud of the way the guys came out and played. I mean, to come out like that after 3 weeks and a week of, a lot of people telling us how great we were, to come out and dominate like that is pretty impressive. So job well done. But again, it's what have you done for me lately? And we got to go into Lincoln next week and get a big win. So
third row right, Tony.
Ryan, we know Garrett Wilson has made plays in practice. Jameson Williams, you've seen him do it in practice. What's it like when you see those 2 freshmen able to?
Really 2 weeks. Both of them have been practicing. And that doesn't guarantee anything. You can practice well, but it doesn't guarantee anything. But if you don't practice well, you don't even have a chance. But both of those guys have practiced harder. I thought their approach to the game has been better. Their attitude's been better. And then lo and behold, here we go. Now we start to see some things happening. And so it's good to see the growth of those guys. And it was good to see the older guys like KJ, Austin, Ben, and those guys show them the way. And that takes a lot of unselfishness along their part. But that's the same legacy that Terry and Paris and those guys left behind, and they're going to keep that going. So it was a good start, and it was good to see those guys make some plays.
Over to the left, Bill.
It's 4 games now. You guys have really not been tested at all. Do you really have a sense of just how good you guys are? Or are you still kind of waiting to find out how good you really are?
Yeah, I think maybe midway through the season, we'll have a better idea. I do think that we're playing with a lot of passion. We're playing hard. We're playing tough. I mean, that's clear to see. But again, like you said, we go on the road next week. That's a big test. So I think I'll have a better idea after next week.
Over to the right, Clay.
No disrespect to Indiana, but as you mentioned, limbs are sort of over. How much better is Nebraska than anybody you've played?
Hard to tell. I haven't really watched them much on film. We've been trying to stick with the mantra of winning this game and focusing on this game. But Scott does a really good job, and then their defensive staff's really, really good, and they have a really good quarterback, and that's a hard place to play. I mean, that's a real place to go on the road and try to win. So that's a big challenge for us. So we'll start talking about that tomorrow morning. Actually, kind of talked about it a little bit just in the locker room, and they were all ears. So big challenge, and that starts even tonight. Just that this is already going. Usually, what we do is we have our meetings tomorrow. We'll still have our champions meetings tomorrow to make sure that we don't just go buy this and reward the guys who play like champions in this game, because it's hard to win college football game, and we're going to do that. But at the same time, we're going to quickly move on to Nebraska and get going on the film.
Second row left, Rob?
Ryan, we're seeing things with this offense that haven't been seen in a while around here, as simple as a quarterback sneak. Are you happy with the fingerprints that you're starting to leave on this program and on this offense?
Well, I think that the whole goal is to figure out what plays fit the personnel that you have, and that's what we're trying to do on a weekly basis. And talking through the preseason about the journey that this team was going to go on both sides of the ball and special teams, but then also on offense. What was it going to look like? And that's the fun part about college football, is that based on your personnel, what gives you the best chance to win. And it's not cookie cutter. It's not the same thing year in and year out. You can't just say, hey, here's the playbook. Let's go run these plays. It doesn't work that way. And I think that's the key to really good college coaching, is being the ability to adapt to your personnel and have the ability to go in and out of personnel groupings, spread or under center, or two tight ends, three tight ends. And, I think Kevin, Mike, Stud, Tony, Mike, Brian Hartline, everybody's doing a really good job of making sure we have some variety in our game. But we got to keep going on that.
Is this the defense you anticipated seeing when you started to put things together?
Yeah. I mean, again, we're only 4 games in, but yeah, that was the vision, and I think that we got a long ways to go still. And I know it's hard sometimes. You look at these games, but you do. There's going to be some things on film that we can really look at and figure out how other teams are going to be attacking us, and making sure we have the ammo to come back at them with.
Second row right, Nathan.
What did you see happen on the play that led to the safety? And is there anything about Justin's windup that maybe makes him more susceptible to that from time to time?
No, it was a double move. It was a post corner that takes a little time to develop. And looking back, it was kind of a risky thing coming out, but I wanted to be aggressive in the game. And we ran the ball for only 1 or 2 yards, and I said, let's take a shot. And Ben actually ran a really good route, post corner, but it takes a little bit of time. It was a Sam rifle where the guy blitzed off the edge, and J.K. just got beat a little bit, off the edge, and then he got his hand down. So probably not a great play call coming out. Probably should have just got it out of his hand quick or run it out. But J.K. does have to do a better job in protection, and that's not one that Justin can see. I mean, that's coming off his backside. That's hard. So I don't think that one's on him.
Over to the left, Ari.
Hey, Ryan, coming into the game, you heard the recess comment from the opposing coach, and they're pulling their quarterback out in the first half. And I'm wondering, what can you truly gain? I know getting guys in early, but how do you prepare for this game? You hear the comments, you're aware of what's going on, you know that the talent is lopsided. I mean, what are you hoping what's the goal here besides winning?
Yeah, I think there's 2 things. I think one is, we talked all week about what, we have momentum, we got to keep momentum, and how do you do that? You have a standard, and we play, and the ball's on the ground. We have a standard of how we play, and that doesn't matter who we're playing, and to continually build on that. A game is a game, and we wanted to do that. The second thing, when you look at a game like this, is it allows you to create that depth and keep building that depth and some strength, and you can really go back on that late in the season. You never know what's going to happen injury-wise. You never know if you get into a game where someone's playing with a lot of tempo and you got to play depth in the game. You just never know. So I think today was a great opportunity to have a lot of guys to play. I even thought Chugs came in and threw the ball pretty good. I thought that was good for him to be able to go back on. Garrett Wilson makes some plays. Guys on defense running around and making some tackles. So those are things that guys can come back upon later on in the year, hopefully as experience.
Quick follow-up on that is, you mentioned Chug. You guys are in a position right now where you have a starter and you're still trying to identify a backup. How important is it, as this team is on a quest to identify a true, real backup quarterback, to have Chris play an entire half like that?
Yeah, no, I thought it was good, and I thought he took a step forward. Even when Gunnar was in there, he made that nice throw to Jamison, so that was good to see. But I thought that Chris handled himself well in that situation, because he had to play a whole half, and then Gunnar came in and did a good job as well. Moved the team down the field for a couple drives, and we challenged those guys, move the ball down the field. We're not here to just run out the game. Let's really play football and find out where we're going to go from it. And so I think for those guys, there's a lot of film to grow upon, and so we'll make sure we watch that film with those guys for sure tomorrow and see if we can build on those guys.
Okay, we only have time for a couple more. Front row right over here, Austin.
Ryan, what was your vantage point on the Garrett Wilson touchdown, and how would you describe it?
It was a one-on-one go ball that Chris kind of underthrew a little bit, but he gave him a chance by putting a lot of air on it. And then it was just unbelievable talent, going over the top, making it, getting his hands on it over the top of the corner, but then also somehow making some sort of circus catch. That was things we've seen in practice, but that one was pretty unreal.
And over to the left, Doug.
Ryan, you guys have been pretty successful with the up-tempo stuff. Are you doing it as much as you thought you would coming into the year? And how do you think Justin and the offensive linemen have handled that?
It was funny, early in the game, we couldn't really get into the rhythm of the tempo. It was just kind of funny the way it worked. But I thought we did play fast at times, I think, in the first half. We were snapping the ball pretty quick. We were getting lined up. I'll have to look at it, but I think we were snapping it at times before 30 seconds, so 40, and then there was about 10 seconds in there we were getting it snapped. But that's only good if you get the first down. You can't, get yourself into 3 and outs, and so we love tempo. It's a big part of our game. It's not going to be used every week the same amount. We'll make decisions on that before the game, but that also in game. Sometimes it gets you in a rhythm a little bit, and we like playing that way. But we'll kind of take it week in and week out.
It seemed like you maybe took some more deep shots today. Was there something in the way they were playing coverage, or was that part of the offense that you guys wanted to maybe flex that muscle a little bit and see how you could do there?
Yeah, it's always part of our game. We have something in our game plan called shots, and they came up, and we're bringing a bunch of guys. They were loading the box up, which most people do against our run game, and we kind of expected that after last week, the way we ran the ball. And anytime you can get one-on-one matchups on the outside with our guys, we think we've got a good shot.
And last question, front row right. Tim?
Yeah, the pass to Benjamin Victor, the catch at the back of the end zone, what does that do for him from a confidence standpoint moving forward? Are you seeing him progress like you thought he would this year? And then number 2, Chase Young with 2 strip sacks. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, to see Chase come off the edge like that was unbelievable. And it's one thing to be veteran. It's one thing to be really good. It's another thing to play that way and produce. And to see him do that, changed the game just like that. And not only that, it changes the momentum of the game. It kind of, if you're on the other side of the ball and you see that a couple times, that can take your heart away. And I think it did. And so he's playing at a high level right now. We got to keep him doing, keep him going at that level, and he's got to keep producing, because when he does, our defense is really good. And for Ben, I thought that was great. Ben's a guy who, if he makes big plays, we go. And that's really been in our first 4 games. And he's made some big plays this year, and that's kind of got our offense going. And he has big playability, so that was a big-time throw and catch.